Hi, good morning. This is Michelle Passoff, and I'm here for another episode of Decluttering 55 Plus with Michelle Passoff. This is the place to come for authors, authorities, experts, geeks, and everyday people to talk about areas of life that can be confounding or confronting as we age. Instead of sweeping them under the carpet and putting them off another day, we bring them into the light so that we can find new information, new resources, get in action and get things done so that we invigorate our lives and leave a legacy, not a mess. Some of those areas, which I call next level clutter, include eating, exercise, and health. It includes digital decluttering. Where are you gonna, what are you going to do in retirement? Social relationships, memoir writing, getting your financial house and legal papers in order, and even your funeral arrangements. One area that was also included in this is where are you going to live? That's not always an easy answer. Are you going to stay in place? Or you're going to go somewhere else. And if you're going to go somewhere else, where is that? So we've brought on an expert, and that is the vice president of 55places.com, and that is Khadeejah Johnson. Thank you, Khadeejah, for being with us and helping us sort ourselves out. How are you
Yes,
today?
I'm wonderful, and thank you. Thank you for having me on your podcast. I'm so excited to see, how we can educate people more on what it's like to live in a 55 and older community and the 55 and older lifestyle.
Well, it's not always been around. When did 55 plus communities get on the scene, and are they growing?
55 and older communities became on the scene in the mid to late 1950s. And that's actually started with Sun City in Arizona. And I'm actually from Arizona. So I'm very well versed and very knowledgeable about that community because and it's also very large. And then in the 60s, it started to gain a little bit more traction. And then when you get to today, I mean, it is just exploding out there. You have tons of developers that are currently trying to develop more of these communities. And then obviously, like, as it starts to evolve, you have more and more amenities that are being offered to those that are looking for 55 and older communities. So honestly, it has just exploded and it is here to stay. It's not stopping. So I think it's something very important to discuss and talk about.
Well, what is a 55 plus community? Explain that for those of us who may be starting from scratch.
So, a 55 plus community or an active adult community is for people who are 55 and older. That want to downsize out of their large homes. Their kids have graduated from college or graduated from high school, and they want to live and potentially move to an area where there are more people around that are like them, of the same age, of the same type of ideologies. They want the amenities. They want maybe a restaurant to be there within the community. Maybe they want it to be on a golf course where they can ride around in their golf cart. It's just kind of like that amenity-rich lifestyle, and it's all about lifestyle living and making things easier for you as you age and go into those next stages in your life.
Well, they say that one of the most important things as you age, even more than health and if you exercise, is social relationships. So to imagine if you're in a 55 plus community, it's one of the reasons to be in a 55 plus community is because you have a built-in community of people with whom to relate.
Absolutely. You have, built-in social opportunities. You have typically a clubhouse. Many communities have a restaurant. You may have the community that has the golf course. And then also you have all these events. You typically have an activities director that is hosting events, like for, say Valentine's Day, which is up and coming. You have like a Valentine's Day party, or for Halloween, you have a costume party, or you have something simple as like book clubs and so forth. Just a way for you to kind of, again, sit around people who are of like mind, who are of like ages, and that you share a lot of common interests. And that's what a 55 and older community is. It's basically having amenities that are tailored to the adult lifestyle.
Does
Um,
it change from one community to another when you're out to say, oh, okay, 55 plus community may be an option? How do I even begin to consider which is the right one for me, or are they all the same?
Well, they're definitely not all the same, and I would say one of the first places to start would be 55places.com. We have obviously blogs, as well as what's unique about our site is that you're not searching by home like you do typically like on a Zillow or homes.com. You are searching by community. So you can actually go and search and look at the different communities to see if they offer the amenities or offer the lifestyle that you're looking for. For example, you have communities that are on a lake or on a river. Maybe you're interested in fishing, and that's where you see yourself in your later years, in the later stages of your life as you age, that you see yourself out on a boat fishing. Or, sometimes they offer a boat slip and a place where you can dock your boat. So that's something that's interesting to you as well. So, really, they do differ. You also, we can even go into there's communities that are mixed use. You have some commercial components to it where, there's like maybe a doctor's office that's located in one of the commercial spaces and so forth. You have anywhere from apartments to large homes that are over 4,000 square feet. It's just really all about what the buyer is looking for or the renter is looking for. So you really have to kind of dig in as a 55 and older person who's looking to transition into this life and find out what's really important to you and what's important to the lifestyle that you want to live in the later stages of your life.
Well, it used to be that you'd go to a 55 plus community, you'd head toward the sun and the light of, places further south. Is that true anymore? Or are people going all over the country with 55 plus communities?
I do feel like, that does remain true, but not always. I think we're seeing a lot of people who are, staying in places like the Northeast or the Midwest. What we're seeing a lot is that their children end up going away to college. They end up establishing themselves in a new location that may not be down south. Again, you typically in the Midwest or the Northeast, and then their child ends up getting a job in that area. They end up getting married. They end up having children. And so the 55 and older person wants a 55 and older community, but they still want to be next to their grandchildren and their children. So sometimes it's very shocking to people, but there's people who definitely want to relocate or are staying put in places like, New York. I mean, New Jersey, we see tons of traffic coming to our site, or tons of people coming to our site interested in a 55 and older New Jersey. We see a lot coming to places like Ohio. So it's not necessarily everybody is wanting to be a sunbird. Again, it's all about figuring out what you want the later stages of your life to look like when you're 55 and older.
Like, what kind of cat would you? So, if somebody says, "Okay, I want to experiment with 55 plus," they go to your site, and how do they begin? How do they begin once they get there at 55places.com? If I go there, then what?
Well, typically you could go to what state that you're looking to relocate to. And then within that state, there's the cities. And then within the cities is the different communities that are located there. Also, a great place to go is our blogs, or just simply signing up for to receive our newsletters. We have an area on our website called My 55, which is actually tailored to the actual individual who signs up for it, and kind of tailors itself to what you're looking for in the areas that you're looking in. And with that, we have newsletters that go out. If you say you're looking in a specific area, where we highlight different communities. And it's just great to just kind of like go into those communities, go in and click on them, because sometimes, again, you don't know particularly where you want to relocate to. You think, oh, I need to relocate or head towards the sun and so forth. But sometimes you just may find a community that maybe isn't in one of those Sun Belt states. However, like I mentioned before, it has something like, a boat with boat slips. You have a boat. That's, what you've envisioned yourself doing in the future. Maybe you want pickleball courts. That's something that's important to you, that you wouldn't move to a place without a pickleball court.
Oh no,
Or
everybody's pickleballing these days.
absolutely, everyone is. Or you want to move to a place, that has a golf course, or you want to move to a place that is scenic, and you want to ride your bikes, or you enjoy, motorcycling and cruising on a motorcycle. You want a place that's scenic, that has a lot of, twisties or curves in the road and so forth. So it's just really going onto the site and doing the research. I want to caution people to not, when it comes to buying in a 55 and older community, I wanna caution them to not think that it's something that has to be a fast process, like when you buy, like when you were a first-time home buyer or you bought the home that you're currently living in. It's really not as fast of a process, I should say. It can take anywhere, in upwards of 5 to 7 years to find
Really?
the ideal place that you're looking for. Absolutely. It's a much longer, cycle, for you to find the home that's perfect for you just because there's so many considerations in regards to the home and the lifestyle that you want to live, but additionally there's so many considerations in that come into when you're selling your home, when you're downsizing, when you're decluttering. You have all these things that you need to get rid of, and typically that is not a quick process.
How much would I need to spend in order to move in? Do you spend more, the same, less than if you were buying a house in a neighborhood, where there's more sun or it's closer to your kids?
Well, there is definitely a wide range, anywhere from the low, hundreds of thousands to, over $1 million. It just really kind of depends. Again, it's the community that you want to live in. It's the type of home that you want to live in. I mean, in Florida, you can get condos, that are in 55 and older communities that, start at, 85,000 to $100,000. So it just really depends.
So you could search on your site for price range
Yes.
as well as the other
Yeah,
amenities?
you can search per price range as well, and you can actually set up, again, a search to where it's sending you actual homes located in the price range and the area that you're looking for. So, you can set up where you can get, on the frequency that you want, whether it be daily or weekly or monthly, kind of to get the type of homes that you have, indicated that you're interested in sent directly to your inbox through email.
Do you recommend, or can you go to these places and try them on? How do you know if you move to a place like this and, yeah, they have all these amenities, but you don't like the people, or, you end up not to like the area, and here you've invested, you know, tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars in a property, and then you don't like it? How can you prevent against that?
So there's not as many communities anymore that kind of offer the stay and play. There are still some, especially down in Florida, places like Texas as well as Arizona. It's called a stay and play. So if that's something that interests you and you definitely feel like you want to go there and get a feel of what it's like to actually live there in a day in the life, I would recommend definitely trying one of the stay and plays. But again, not all communities offer that. But another great option is to fly down, plan a vacation, rent in, not rent, sorry, get a hotel in an area that you want to look in or that's very close to that 55 and older community, and kind of walk around in the community, kind of walk around in the neighborhood, kind of see what kind of people live there, go to the grocery store, see what type of people are frequenting the grocery store, and so forth. So you can kind of get a feel of the type of people that are living in that area.
Can you rent at a 55 pla if it n maybe not, stay as if it's a hotel, but can you rent in a 55 plus and try it on for a year before you buy?
You can. There are some communities that say the owner is maybe going to stay away for a while. So there may be an option, but you have to be careful of the HOA that they may offer some Airbnbs there that are you can rent on a short term basis. But also sometimes homeowners that they decide to just rent it out for a year, or there are also 55 and older rentals, which is a great option, and that's kind of where the market is also heading, that there are
Oh, what
55.
is that?
I'm sorry?
What is that?
So a 55 and older rental is a community that is 55 and older, and it's specifically for rentals, and they're not for sale. So again, you're living amongst people who are like-minded, who have the same interest potentially as you do, that is still amenity rich and has all those amenities, but instead you're renting it as opposed to purchasing it. And this is honestly a great option as well, just because you wanna get a kind of a lay of the land, I feel like, when you're going down to, some of these areas that you're not familiar with, where again, you can be in the community, you can see where the nearest grocery store is, you can see where the nearest doctor's office is, you can see, where the nearest golf course is, and especially if the community doesn't have one. But you just kind of can really get a lay of the land to figure out if it's something that you feel like will work for you in the future.
I think that try it before you buy it kind of, do they have the same community where there might be a rentals division of that community and a buyer division of that community, so you know whether or not you're staying with the same pool of people or not?
Yes, there are communities, there are master plan communities that do have, a component in them that is rentals as well as a component in it to where you can buy. The rental ones are typically apartments or, condo style or garden style apartments, as opposed to usually the buy community is more, homes. But yes, that is also a great option for someone. Again, if you're predominantly looking to figure out what type of people live there, if it's a place that you want to live, that is a great option as well.
What is the downsides of living in a 55 plus community?
I would say the downside is, and this isn't for all communities, but sometimes, it can be that, maybe you want your grandchildren to stay with you for an extended period of time, and the HOA rules are against that. Also, some people may think that living in a community that has an HOA is a downside, just because there can be a lot of rules and regulations that that don't work for what you envision for yourself in the future. Um, I would say also sometimes again the HOA fees can be exorbitant when there's a ton of amenities and so forth. You can be paying in upwards of $1,000 per month, because there's a restaurant on site, and then you have to become a member of like the pool and the fitness center and the clubhouse and so forth. So
So there's
there's definitely,
additional costs
yes, there's additional
in that
costs.
community,
Yes.
so you need to check on that.
Yeah, so it's really again, it's all about educating yourself and really doing the research, which is again, and as I aforementioned that sometimes it's anywhere from 5 to 7 years before
Yeah,
you
why
actually.
is that why does it take so long?
It takes so long just because, especially if you don't have an idea of exactly where you want to move, exactly where you want to go, it's going to take so long because of research. And then it's also going to take long because of you're downsizing your life. You have to first make the decision that you're going to downsize your life. And there's the nervousness that comes along with that. But then additionally, you have to declutter. You have to, get rid of things. You have to figure out what you're taking, what you're not taking. And, for some people, especially when you're a little older, there's a level of nervousness and anxiety that comes with
Yeah.
that. So, there's no rush. The most important thing is to take your time and then make sure that the process is going to be comfortable and suitable for you.
Yeah, so, the point is that, you need to have one of the pillars of next level clutter cleaning is to, plan ahead and be flexible. So planning ahead, if you're saying 5 or 10 years, it's not like, oh, you're going to pick up tomorrow and go, okay, I'm moving across the country and I'm moving to another region. So,
Absolutely.
there's plan ahead. So if you poke around on 55places.com and you start thinking ahead, maybe you'll find yourself playing golf and pickleball and riding around in a golf cart before you know it.
Yes, and I just wanted to circle back really quickly to when you mentioned about the different downsides. I just want to add a couple more things. There's less generational diversity, which some again could consider an upside, but then again some could consider a downside. And then also some communities may feel kind of too quiet for certain personalities, just really depending. And then obviously some communities don't allow long-term rentals or younger residents. So it's just again about doing that research.
Well, you have to start somewhere, and hopefully, this conversation got you started on getting your wheels going in the direction of a 55 plus community as an option as you age. So I'm going to have to wrap it up for today, but please tell us if you've been in a 55 plus community, how life is for you. Go to www.decluttering 55plus.com. Go to the Let's Connect button and write and tell us how it is for you, or how your experience has been in researching a 55 plus community. We'd love to hear from you. Please be sure to subscribe, follow, and like us on all the platforms, including YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. Subscribe so that you can hear our episodes coming up. I want to thank you, Khadeejah, for being with us and getting us prepared for what's ahead. I appreciate that very much. And that's it for today. So be sure to have a clutter-free day, and we'll see you at the next episode. Thank you.